All right, well, we are here for a special episode of Married to the Games for the month of September. It's SUB-tember, and I am here with HeyCallMeClay.
Hello.
And Clay, dude, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for inviting me. You made the call, and I'm here to respond. I'm more than happy to do this.
When Gabe said this is what we're gonna do each month, we're gonna highlight a streamer whose work we like and someone that we want to highlight and draw and put a light on and draw attention to. You were the first person I thought of.
Wow.
It's just I stumbled upon your stream. It wasn't super long ago, but
maybe 4 months or something.
Yeah,
4 or 5 months ago.
4 or 5
max.
months.
Yeah.
And it did not take long. I'll say maybe 3 minutes before I realized, I'm going to give this guy a follow. I'm going to stick around here for a while. You were playing The Last of Us Part 2. You were in a very emotional part. It was near the end.
Oh, man. The whole game just takes you on a crazy journey. And ever since I've played that, there are certain games that ruin gaming for you. That's one of them. Right?
Ruins gaming for you.
Right, because you want every story to be that level of quality.
Right. They raised the bar. Yeah.
They raised the bar. You're like, oh, man, I don't know if I could ever get back there.
Yeah.
And you start thinking about the game day and night. I mean, maybe that's just me.
There are definitely games that I won't play again because I know I won't have that first time reaction.
Yeah.
Like Red Dead Redemption 2, I'll never play again because I know that that story will not hit me. There's no way it can hit me again the way it did the first time.
So that you saying that, it means that I'm going to get a whole bunch of unfollows because I've never played Red Dead Redemption.
People are going to follow you.
That's
just
the
so they
show,
can unfollow.
folks. We're done. Good talking to you.
No,
follow me or not.
But I love the community that shows up in your stream is super supportive, super fun. You provide a really cool vibe as people can hear, and as you joke a lot, you've got a very nice, smooth, relaxing voice. You're on in the evening after you're great to have on during a long day, and it's just like, hey, I'm going to hang out with Clay. We're going to play some games, have some laughs.
Agreed. I think I draw mostly lurkers because I'm that smooth DJ radio voice that's like from whatever early smooth jazz station that you normally listen to. But in the background, there's a lot of violent games that are... It's a great dichotomy, really.
The juxtaposition between you and Resident Evil is something to behold.
Exactly.
I'm talking to you on September 1st, which, as a lot of people know, is the hashtag a day off Twitch. And it's something that I wasn't made aware of until very, very recently, just with people with the hate raids. And I've definitely noticed a lot of uptick in bot activity, but had no idea some of the things they were getting up to. And you were one of the people that was kind enough to talk about it on stream. And how, one thing that made me sad is the fact that, Clay, you mentioned that, like, you didn't put the black tag on your stream because you were kind of hiding.
Yeah, and it's funny because I know that as a statement may feel polarizing to some, because I'm sure people will hear that and say, like, Clay, you should go ahead and put it on. I did not want to draw that kind of attention to myself until it's safe. I am very proud to be a black man who is streaming. I'm a black man in general. I am not ashamed of my race or ethnicity in any capacity.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't want to deal with hate raids. And so if there's something that I can do to protect my sanity and protect the sanity of other people who are in chat at the time, let's just go ahead and do that. And when it's safe, I'll peek around the corner, then I'll go ahead and start doing it, because I think it's important for us to highlight and showcase black streamers and black content creators. But right now, it's not so safe. Hence the day, right?
Yeah.
And I remember us actually in one of my chats, as you and I were talking about hate raids, for the first time, and I was talking to the community about it, because it's just gotten a little bit out of hand. And I was just letting everyone know, like this is a thing. And if you're a creator whatever ethnicity you are. They are attacking both Black, African American, as well as the LGBTQ community is also getting the hate raids. And so we had to like learn how to protect ourselves. And in that stream, I was telling chat about how I had to create this button on my stream deck that allowed me to do all these actions to shut down the hate raid. And the crazy thing is, it's crazy that I have to create a button to do actions to stop a hate raid.
Yeah.
What?
Right. Yeah, and that was one of the things I heard a lot was, well, can't you just do this, or can't you just make it subscriber only chat? And yes, you can do this and do this and do this, but we shouldn't have to.
Right.
That shouldn't be something that we should worry about.
100%. I think that what I'm happy about is that we have created a place, and I say we, the people who visit my stream, have created a place where we can have that discussion. And the same thing even happens in the Discord community that I'm a part of, that I want us to be able to have the conversation. It's a very hard conversation because it is rooted in race relations, which has a very deep history, especially in America. And so it is a very hard thing to talk about. And I know that a lot of people come to gaming communities on Twitch, etc., to kind of escape the real world. Gaming is normalized as an escape, so to speak. But I also wanted to create a space where we can have the tough conversations to educate, because that's what's important. That's what's going to stop not just the hate raids and things like that, but it's going to help make continuous dents at attacking racism in America, regardless of if you're Black, Latino, Asian, LGBTQ, any discrimination. In order to stop it, we need to have the conversation. And the more we're comfortable, the way that, so the reality is, when we have more conversations, we become more comfortable with the topic because we're opening our ears to learning from each other. And I want to know when people disagree with me, you know, because it helps me reinforce my own beliefs in the matter. Yeah. And so that's what we're trying to do here. And so I appreciate you bringing it up in chat. I'm glad that you helped spark the conversation. I'm glad we were able to talk about it. Yeah. I'm personally happy, of course, that you took a part of it too. And I'm happy to even discuss, you know, what is the impact here, right? Yeah. It's you know, because there's a lot of theory of, you know, is this going to work? Is this matter? Right. Yeah. You're not going to hurt Twitch. Jeff Bezos is fine. He's in his spaceship. He doesn't, you know. Exactly. And I think that it's less about, I'll say it this way. In an ideal scenario, yes, it'd be great if every single streamer decided to not stream today to show support for these communities that are under attack. Yeah. Right. And I say that and I phrase it that way because it needs to feel a little bit hyperbolic. These communities are under attack by people / bots that are deciding to take over their chats and their streams to make them uncomfortable. Yeah. And so we generally, holistically, want a solve. There's what other platforms are there that exist? And I'm sure maybe there are a few, so feel free to correct me, anyone. Where, you know, you're making money off of these streamers who are very uncomfortable to stream on your platform, right? Yeah. Think about all the other free platforms that we're a part of. And, you know, are people making money off of us and making us feel uncomfortable at the same time? It feels a very strange, polarizing experience. Yeah. We were talking earlier before we started recording about how, you know, you were talking about you being a New Yorker and you just never realized that most people there weren't New Yorkers. And we're all kind of, whatever our situation is, we just kind of assume that's how everyone, and I've learned so much in the last 5 years, just with the Me Too movement, where I had no idea what women went through. Someone was in the chat the other day and she had gotten a hate raid because she was female. And that was such a foreign, wait, what? That's a reason to hate someone?
I had what is
Yeah, no, there's anybody will find anything to hate on someone, and I think that's the problem. I've heard discussions of like, well, is this going to work because we're giving attention to this, and that means that the people who are doing this are winning. And in my mind, I'm like, well, the difference is not that this is not a follow botting issue, right? If this was just follow bots, I don't think people are asking Twitch to solve the follow bots now. We're going to end all of our streaming permanently.
Right.
The thing that makes this different is the hate that comes along with it. And that's what's important. No, we've had follow bots for years since I joined Twitch, which is not that long ago, a year and a half ago. Follow botting was always a thing, right? And we have tools now that exist that allow you to remove the follow bots. But what's different this time is that they are attacking people of different genders, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation. And there's a hate element that comes with this. And that's the part that's unacceptable. That's the part that we need to solve.
Yeah.
Right? If people were just raiding with happy faces, you think we'd have a day off of Twitch?
Right. Exactly. I'd love to be raided with happy faces.
You know, if people were sending love bombs of thousands of bots that are just having random hearts, anybody who's out there who wants to build a love bomb, feel free to build a love bomb.
Wasn't that the song back in the 60s?
Supportive messages. Right? But if that was happening, would we be asking Twitch to make change? No.
Yeah.
The hate is what makes this different.
Yeah.
That's what makes this important.
Yeah. One thing that I really like, Clay, about the way you stream is that, and you never have to say it in your stream, I think people just know by you being you, is that you have such a safe, there's a feeling of safety in your stream. You don't feel like, oh no, I can't have this on while the kids are in the room because, I mean, maybe the game might get crazy, but as far as you go, it's a safe place. It's a positive place. There's not a lot of negativity. Is that something that was intentional, or is that just Clay?
Ooh, great question. I think it is. It starts off mostly with it being just me. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's weird to say, I don't swear naturally. Mm-hmm. So,
and you're from New York?
And I'm from New York, born and raised. I don't swear, and I don't knock anybody who does swear. I just don't.
Right.
So it's never left my mouth ever, and since I was born.
Even when you're alone.
Even when I'm alone.
And you're rage quitting a game.
I rage quit by just doing a random frustration face, but I actually don't swear at it. I may rage delete the game or rage uninstall the game, but that's as far as it's gonna go. No swearing happens, and so by nature, it becomes a safe space because there's none of that. Not saying that people who swear have unsafe spaces, but for me, by nature, there's nothing that pushes anyone away. And after a number of different months streaming and realizing how conversations were going and watching other streams and seeing what other people were kind of needing in a community, I don't think that mine is an exclusive one. I can't sit here today and say, oh, this is the only community where you're going to feel safe and all that. Right. But I realized what I wanted to do is foster this very calm, open place like a coffee shop where you're meeting your friends and you're talking about stuff. And when you meet up with your friends, sometimes that stuff isn't always lighthearted and isn't just always about the weather. Sometimes it's about something that's really, really heavy. And a lot of times, especially as I've been streaming, I've realized that a lot of people don't have that space at home, right? They don't have a space at home where they can kind of just have a conversation and be open about their feelings. I've had people come in chat who question religion, and I know that that's one of those polarizing things, or talk about politics. And while it doesn't happen often, what I wanted to do is at least create a space where people felt comfortable opening up the conversation. And luckily, so far, knock on wood, nothing's gotten crazy in chat about having polarizing opinions. Yes, we talk about it. And especially when it comes to like LGBTQ issues had come up a lot during the Last of Us Part 2 playthrough,
Right,
for obvious
right.
reasons. And, you know, I was happy to be able to keep the conversation in a productive, critical, thoughtful way so that we're learning from each other, because I have to learn. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. You always have to learn from other people. And that's why I try to create a space where people feel comfortable sharing, because the more they share, the more I learn. The more I learn, the more I can become an advocate for different causes and
Yeah.
different just things in general in life. So
One
happy about
thing
it.
that I really like about your stream is you stream from your living room.
I do.
And so it's usually at night while your child is in bed.
Yeah.
What is your wife doing while you stream? Is she sitting beside you off camera giggling? What's she doing?
Great question. So we live in a 2-bedroom in New York City. My son is sleeping in one room, and she disappears into the bedroom and watches all of the other trash TV shows that she normally knows that I would not watch with her. And I am happy to watch a lot of trash TV with her. And so what's so great about that is that it gives her. Actually, I'll say it this way. And we can obviously talk about the beginnings of me streaming, which haven't been that long. But we obviously, due to COVID, were around each other all the time. We were never around each other this often because I was always at work. She was a part-time stay-at-home mom, also worked from the home, which was also very difficult while being a mom. Shout out to working moms for real.
Right.
And I would be at work, and I'd come home at 6 or 7, and then I'd take over the baby and put the baby down, and then she would do her thing, and we would get our time after that. But with COVID, we were instantly around each other all the time. I love being around my wife. I actually don't have a problem with it. But you do need that time to kind of do your own thing and
Sure.
decompress the way that you want to decompress.
Yep.
If she wants to binge every season of the Housewives of Enter City here, then she can do that. And if I want to play really polarizing games that are very violent, I can do that on my own time. Then we reconvene afterwards. So she's actually, she binge watches a lot of TV. She watches a lot of TV in the bedroom and like plays her game and decompresses, read books, that kind of stuff.
So she games as well.
She plays Wordscapes on her iPad.
Okay.
Does that count?
Yeah, definitely.
However, I've considered buying her a Switch. I just don't know if it actually would work because she doesn't seem to be into that kind of gaming. But yeah.
She's been on the stream before, though, right?
She has. She appeared 2 times. One was, I can count on one hand. 3 times. I'll tell you about the third time. The first time was for my birthday stream last year, which was awesome. And we played like Little Big Planet 3, which was a lot of fun.
Okay.
We love couch co-op games.
Yes.
And I'm always a huge fan of that. And so she just spent that stream with me there. And then the next time she appeared officially was during my charity stream that happened in July, where we were giving donations to the Polycystic Kidney Disease Foundation. We raised over $750 during that stream, so I'm
That's
really
awesome.
excited about that. And she appeared to kind of talk a little bit about my mother, who had passed away from PKD years ago. And she wanted to share her thoughts on it and kind of thank everybody for being here and just being that like extra awesome personality on stream to talk a little bit about my mom outside of what I would have normally done. And so there's that. And then the third unofficial time she appeared on stream was to tell me that I was being too loud and my son was sleeping.
Do you remember what you were playing?
Man, what was I playing? Oh, goodness. I don't know, but it was me being too loud and ragey at some point. I can't even remember what it was.
I can't even imagine you being loud and ragey.
There was, you know what? It might have been a VR game.
Okay,
I might have been doing VR, and that's a little bit tricky because I don't have the monitor in my ear like I do, so I can't really see where my levels are compared to everything else.
Yeah.
So it might have been something in VR, and that made it harder because I can't see her because I'm in VR, so I can't see the angry face. It might have been something like that. I have to remember now.
You said you've only been streaming a year and a half?
I started in July of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it because of COVID then?
It was because of COVID. It has started, so weirdly enough, I started streaming because we could not talk to we couldn't really interact with the outside world. And The Last of Us Part 2 had come out the year prior or something. I never got to play it. When did it come out? 2019, right?
I want to say...
yeah. Late 2019.
Yeah.
I think so.
Is that right? It was June-ish of a year.
Was it June? Oh, man. Good Lord. Was it June? It might have been June of last year then. We don't know time. Time works.
I think it was June of last year, June of 20.
It would have had to be June of last year. Okay, so it had come out in June, and I wanted to play it, and I was talking to some friends, and they were like, "Oh, I'll watch you," just like randomly. So I just streamed from my PS4 for a little bit, and we just had some really cool engagement where it's just my close friends, my coworker, and some of my cousins. We were just like kind of hung out. And it just became just a cool hangout. And then I would start to look at Twitch for new games that I want to play. And so I'd look at stream, and that's how I started to look. Instead of like looking up trailers or gameplays on YouTube, I wanted to actually go on Twitch to see what other people were playing it and things like that. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, should I like do this? Because it was kind of cool to talk to people and kind of cool to play and interact with people. And I'm an extrovert, one of the few extroverts that you'll ever meet on Twitch, I find.
Right.
No one's an extrovert anymore. It's like it's not fun or whatever. Who knew? So I'm odd man out. And so I'm one of the few extroverts who crave time with people, to learn from people. And one thing led to another where I thought, oh, I wonder if I should like do this, but I don't have a game room. So let me stream from I'll dust off my old Mac Mini. That's what I did. I found an old Mac Mini in my closet.
Really?
Formatted it, put Streamlabs OBS on that thing. It ran so slow. And I said, because I'm going to try to just make this happen. I already have a mirrorless camera that I use just for my other like travel photography. So I'm going to just try to hook all these things up, and I'll set up in the living room, and let's just see how this goes. And my first 3 followers were my coworker and 2 of my cousins.
Yeah.
By the way, pro tip for anybody starting streaming, that's how you get your 3 average.
Are they still in the regular
They are my
viewers?
moderators.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
They are my mods. And so what I did was I said, hey, when are you all available? And I'll stream on those days. And so I made sure to stream on the days that they were able to kind of hang out and chat. And then one thing led to another. You start meeting people, you start engaging other streamers' communities, and then all of a sudden you're, donating all your money to charity.
And that's another thing too, is that the money you earn from Twitch doesn't go to Clay's hamburger fund.
No, it doesn't. There may be a time where it will. And it may be pizza.
And that's allowed. That's allowed.
That's allowed. It is allowed. I've been trying to decide what this next year, but you're right. I made a commitment at the time. Because, without divulging too much, but I love my job a whole lot. I love what I do. And so Twitch right now will never be a full-time thing for me. If I continue to do it and it ends up blowing up in some capacity and I get really great opportunity to share my thoughts and create this environment on a larger scale, I won't turn that down. But my job is really great, and my wife and I both work, and we are able to support ourselves with that, and Twitch was just a bonus. And because of that, we decided to do one of 2 things, and sometimes both. We either donate the money from Twitch to charity, because we just feel like we want to continue to support other people in need of this, or it goes to my son's college fund. So those are awesome. The 2 places. Those are the 2 areas where it goes to. And so over the last year, including the charity stream, we've been able to donate over $2,100 to charity. Which
That's awesome.
Just phenomenal.
That's so cool, man.
I'm so excited to be able to share that and like tote that number around.
Yeah.
It's just, I never thought that I'd do streaming.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd be able to give back in that way. So here we are. And then maybe next year I'll give the money to my son's college fund because I really want to tell him the story that I helped pay for his college through playing video games. I think that'd be such a cool thing. I already have the narrative in my mind.
And I mean, watching your streams and chatting with you now and just seeing the way you conduct not only yourself, but your presence online, where does this goodness come from, Clay? Is that something you got from your parents, from your family, from your friends? Where is that just something that's always a little spark of joy that's always been in Clay?
Oh my goodness. No one's ever asked me that, nor have I ever thought about it. I think generally it comes from my family and my circle of people. And this may sound strange, but I have been truly blessed with my entire upbringing. And I'm not saying that I was ever born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I'll tell you, honestly, my parents were immigrants from Guyana, South America. Wow. And they moved to Brooklyn, New York to get new opportunities, the immigrant dream. Yeah. And they moved in the 80s, and I was born shortly after they got here. Okay. And I am one of 5 kids in the family, and I didn't grow up with trauma in the home like I know a lot of people do. Right. Or strife, or we had a loving home, a loving 2-parent household. My mother always tried to give us the most amazing opportunities with what they had. But I want to make it clear that it wasn't a, just like fancy upbringing. We were all 5 of us in a Brooklyn apartment, and my mom and dad, who don't have a college education, they had at most or equal to a college, high school education, high school diploma, and worked their butts off to give their kids really great experiences. And while they weren't fantastic, from a like larger grand scale, we never took that many trips or anything, there was always a lot of love and general positivity in the home that I soak up. And to this day, I'm close to my siblings, I'm close to my dad. My mother did pass away in 2012, but she instilled in us that level of respect, honesty, and challenged us to be a little bit different. You know how some parents, when they're like, you're about to go to college, some parents want you to stay close. My mom wanted us to go. Seriously. Yeah. She kicked all of us out. In fact, my youngest brother got accepted to a great school in New York and another great school in Boston, and she's like, you're going to Boston. She did not want any of her kids to stay home. That's funny. It's because it allowed us to grow as people. It allowed us to be uncomfortable. Yeah. And one of the things that I subscribe to in terms of thinking is that there is growth in discomfort. There is growth in discomfort. And so it comes from my upbringing. I have no, there's no sugarcoating it. That's it. Or maybe it's by default sugarcoated because it was a really great upbringing. And but yeah, that's where it comes from. And so, you know, I have this abundance of not toxic positivity, just natural positivity, because that's what I knew growing up, and I kind of want to hand that out, so to speak. Is that weird?
No, it's funny because as you were describing it, I realize as I got older and I look back, we didn't have hardly any money growing up. Oh yeah. But I love the fact that we had no idea. Like they were still able to give us a really cool childhood, and we were clueless about what situation we were in.
You know, and completely clueless. I had no idea until you become an adult and you realize, oh, that's how much my parents made together. Yeah. You know, that's how much my household income was growing up, and my mom was able to help 5 kids go through college. You know, you realize, wow, I'm really impressed with the work ethic and drive that my parents had and instilled in each and every one of their kids. Yeah. So, yeah, and my son comparatively is spoiled because there's only one of him. There was 5 of us. There's only one of him, and he's got 2 college educated people with masters in the home, living in New York City, and who plays games to help fund his college fund. We're gonna have to downgrade that dude. I'm not gonna lie.
What is your master's in?
Business.
Look at that.
I have a master's in business. I have a undergrad in computer science, so I understand tech on a decent level. I realized quickly that while I'm a techie, was not as techie as my peers. And I felt like I was really good with people. So I decided to make the pivot. I finished the undergrad in computer science. I can speak the code. I used to code websites and write, like I did all of that. And then I quickly pivoted to doing a business degree so I could put them together.
I think it's funny that I don't know if I've met anyone on Twitch who doesn't have that goal of, if only I could quit my full-time job, I would be here. So you know,
forever.
You're this is a fun thing for you, and yet your setup is really nice. You know,
Thank you.
It looks great. It sounds great. Like you said, like you pretty quickly got Streamlabs fired up. Like
I did.
You went full out.
I do. So a couple of things to know about me is that I go all in all the time. I am a chill dude, but if you're like, Clay, let's do this, I'm like, okay, let's do this 150%. Every hobby that I've ever started has been this way, right?
Yeah.
So I picked up lightweight videography, and so I'm like, okay, I could use my phone, or I could buy a Sony Alpha 6300.
Oh,
that's what we're gonna do. Or when we learned how to snowboard, we were on a chairlift once, and my wife were just kind of on there. We took a couple of lessons with some friends, and one day she just turned to me on the chairlift and goes, I think I want to try this. The next weekend, we found a really great place that had these great sales. Full kits for both of us.
It's like she was on The Price is Right.
Yeah, no. And by the way, everyone, this is not a situation where this all happened in one weekend. I'm not spending all this money in one weekend. Just make it very clear.
It was a random Tuesday. It all went down.
I know. Then. All went down. Everything. When we got into rock climbing, I'm a huge rock climber, and we got into rock climbing one weekend. We decided to do it as a date. And the next weekend, we went to Eastern Mountain Sports and got full rock climbing kits for each of us, right?
Look at that.
Again, these are all different years,
right?
But
right.
I go completely in 100%. Because I feel like if I want to do it, I'm going to try to do it as right as possible.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been grateful and blessed enough to be able to have a job that supports us well enough to be able to allow me to go all in for these different things. And so, yeah, my setup, the other thing is I'm very proud of my setup because I started it as a way, I had to figure out how to make the setup minimal. And because I don't have a streaming room, this is my living room. This is my Switch back here, right? And this is just like my book press. There's like real books back here about life, and there's board games and stuff right here. And right behind me is just my kitchen dining room table. I live in New York City, so we don't have a lot of space. There's no room, a streaming room in New York City. Give me a break.
I'm just trying to get closet space.
You know, like, do you want me to do a tour of my laundry? It's not even a laundry room. It's just literally a room that just happens to have a washer dryer stacked on top of each other. Like, that's how it is. There's no extra space in New York. So I had to work to figure out how to make things portable. And I have this like 3 foot by 2 foot like basket that has all my streaming stuff that I tear down and put up every single time.
Every time.
So right now, this camera is on a tripod that I bought years ago that's sitting on it, and I was able to connect the HDMI cable to my computer. That's routed through my console up here with my TV and record player.
Wow.
So I tried to make it so that everything is minimalist, but everything gets torn down and put back each time. So this computer is a laptop. I don't have a PC, a big old giant PC.
I think you're someone that people need to see when they're a new streamer and it's been a week and they're frustrated because they don't have 4,000 followers yet.
Oh, goodness.
Where's my money? And
Twitch,
also,
where's my money? And why am I not famous?
Right. And I'm streaming with my iPod earbuds from 96. Like, look at you. I mean, what?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I mean, to go into detail, like I said earlier, my initial stream setup was as follows. An old Mac Mini that was maybe from 2012. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not talking a gaming PC. A camera that I happened to have from a year ago from a trip that I went on that I've connected to, and a mic that I got from Amazon for $30.
Yep.
That was my setup. And the headphones, everything I already had, like, and I streamed with these. I even have them here next to me. My AirPods.
Yep.
That's what I started with.
Yep.
That was my setup.
See?
And I took my dining room table and put it in my living room so that I can get the camera positioned the right way. That's how I started. And so, and then over time, you're like, okay, like I'm going to like save up to do this thing. And I'm going to save up to do a slightly different connection here. I'm going to save up to get this mic. I'm going to save up to get an actual gaming laptop. And so that's what went down. And
It's a wormhole, isn't it? Like there's it's so easy to be like, okay, well, I did that, but now I could tweak this a little bit and make this a little better.
Agreed. But this is how it works. This is how it starts. You know, like I got a little piece of cardboard underneath my tripod, and that's how I keep it straight.
You got to make it work. You know, people don't see the masking tape on the other side of the camera. You know,
they don't.
No idea.
They don't. But that's what I love about it is that I've been able to keep it minimalist. I've been able to keep it portable. And then eventually, I hope to get a streaming room. I hope to get, if I still keep this as a hobby, a really cool hobby that I do, I hope to get a room that's dedicated to it. And that would be amazing. But for now, I'm enjoying the journey and I'm loving the fact that it's forced me to be creative in the setup. I'm streaming or talking to you from my coffee table in my living room that just happens to have one of those things that lifts up to make it a table. You know what this coffee table was? This was my dining table for years with my wife and I before my son was born. So everything was kind of like a hodgepodge, random cabling thing, and I just slowly pieced it together.
And I think that's great, too, because a lot of people I hear, one of the reasons they give to not stream or I'm not that good is because I don't have, like, you know, they look at like Ninja, and mine doesn't look like that. And I think, I don't think they hear or see often enough people who make it work with not much more than most people have lying around the house to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that especially when you're starting out, you really, it's not the setup that gets people. It is your personality. And I know that sounds cliche. So I need everyone to just hang in there for a moment as I explain this.
Oh, I'm about to preach.
Let's have this conversation, because a lot of people think that you have to have this amazing setup, and I don't have the Funko Pops back here. I have my Nintendo Switch, and that was a prop that Ed actually saw me put up right before this conversation so that I could prove to him that I game sometimes. Currently trying to make my way through Hades, which is frustrating me. And so, but what I did was I networked. Not a single person knew what I looked like or sounded like before they clicked my stream, but I was able to network in people's Discords. I was able to network and talk in Twitter and share your thoughts and connect with people. And when you connect with people, you're introduced to other great people. One of my favorite things to do on Twitch is randomly find a streamer that I'm just hanging out with and then just chatting it up with their people. I love that. And then all of a sudden, you get 5 extra follows. Not that that's the goal, because the goal is to kind of get to know them, but you get 5 extra follows from people who are like, hey, I want to check him out because, you know, he was funny in chat, or there was banter here, or something like that came across. And so once you start to network, you realize, oh, like, this guy's kind of cool. Yeah. And you saw his face, and then, you realize he's funny in real life, too, and that he's not using a ghostwriter. Yeah.
Well, and it's nice, too, because even though it technically is networking, it never... If you're doing it from your approach, it doesn't feel like, it feels like you're just making friends.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
and
exactly right.
You end up getting followers or whatever, but people can tell it's painfully obvious when someone enters your stream networking.
And you know what? I will say that that's probably one of the trickiest parts. And one of the things that I think I have on my side is that I am not pressured to do this full time.
Right.
And because my intention is not to be this amazing big Twitch streamer, I'm genuinely going in to meet people. I'm genuinely going in just to say, hey, I think you're kind of cool. You're funny. Or like, this game is really great. Or you're the people that hang out in your chat are just phenomenal. I'm genuinely going in there without any goals of promoting myself. And I don't know what that's like. So I empathize with people who have to try to continue to grow this following. Because I know all the things that need to get done to get big, right? You got to be on TikTok. You got to do these YouTube reviews. You gotta do all of the other discovery. I know all of it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any of it because I don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
So the thing that I have on my side, talking to people when I can. I talk to people when I make breakfast for my family, and I have my iPad open while I'm making breakfast, and I chat there. You know, while my son's eating dinner and he's watching Paw Patrol movie for the 40th time, I'm chatting on my iPad, just getting to know people. And then you have these moments where I actually was in another streamer's stream the other day, and I had like gifted some like subs or bits or something, and their mod naturally just shouted me out because this is one of those like trigger things that happen. And the streamer was like, Clay, I didn't know you were a streamer. I don't tell people that I'm a streamer. At all. Right? And they're like, I didn't know you were a streamer. Wow, like you've been so cool and like great to hang out with. I'm looking forward to checking you out. And that's how it happens. That's where the growth comes from. And it's not networking.
Yeah, exactly. No, well, and I think you stumbled on something because Twitch streaming isn't your end goal. It allows you to just, like you were saying, just be you, and I think that's the secret sauce, if you will, is just being you. And when you make that connection, it's a lot easier to connect to Clay than it is a celebrity. You know,
you're getting the real, unfiltered me because I'm not giving you a face because I don't have. There's no goal in order to get you as a follower or to get you to give me. So I don't have that as a goal. Because you gift me subs and it's going to charity. So that's helping somebody else, right?
Right.
You follow me or not follow me, I don't care because I actually just came to hang out with you. So even if you don't follow me, I'm winning because I'm just hanging out with you anyway.
Right.
So there's nothing that's giving me this like drive to make this a thing. Now, I, again, empathize with people who want to make this their thing. And I tell you, this is a hard thing to do. This is a very, very hard thing to do because I know I get burned out. Sometimes I don't always want to be on, right? And I just want to like game quietly. But that's not what you're supposed to do as a streamer. When you stream, you got to talk through your actions because if no one's chatting in chat, when people come in, you got to make sure that they're interesting enough, right? But sometimes you don't want to do that.
I say that so many times. That's one of the things I tell a new streamer because I've been in so many streams who are people who are obviously new, and it's just all you hear is the click of their controller, and I'll say hello in the chat, and they don't see it, they're not looking, and a lot of people will say, but I can't talk, there's no one in my chat, and that, narrate what you're doing. I'm going to jump this, so I'm going to try to do this, and I'm so glad you said
have
that.
some reactions. It's funny because it's kind of one of the basics of starting out too, right? I think that a lot of people start out thinking I'm going to plug a game in and it's just naturally going to happen. And weirdly enough, I find that people aren't doing enough research on how to do this the right way because the content's out there, and I can give you all the rules right now. Right. You want to create for even outside of Twitch. Twitch is just the hub, but everything else is the spoke that needs to just bring people in. So if you get a new game, take a picture of it for Instagram before you pop it in, right? If you don't talk on your stream, you're not able to create, even if no one's there, say something ridiculous happened. a glitch happened. You fell off of a cliff on Days Gone, like I've done plenty of times, or run into a random zombie horde, right? And you have that reaction like, oh man. If you don't say any of that and no one's in chat, which I get, that's a perfect clip for TikTok. And you just missed your opportunity to get 300 bare minimum views on your content. And so there are definite rules of the game that people for some reason forget or don't research in order to grow. I don't think growing is easy, but there are some benchmark baseline things that you should be doing to get that done.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm not doing all. I have a TikTok. I do. I try to. You know, it's funny. I don't feel like I'm that funny on TikTok. I'm sort of funny, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I have all the things, but I don't push out 25 videos. But I'm aware that that's not my goal, right?
Right.
But if that's your goal, you kind of have to hustle, because this is very much like an entrepreneurship. It is very much an entrepreneurial endeavor.
It really is. And again, I think people see, oh, streamers are making this crazy amount of money, and they don't realize they've got to put in that hustle. Just like if you're starting your own business, you can't just open the doors and people come in. You know, you got to.
Right. Why would I go into your store? What do you sell?
Yeah.
What's funny about you? And guess what? You're going to just hopefully wait on foot traffic. Good luck with that, right?
Yeah.
You have to start to advertise and promote why you're there. And that's how you grow. You have to create this snowball. And in order to do that, you need to take all the little snowflakes and kind of put them together.
Yeah.
And you got to find a hill and roll it down the hill. And you got to hope that it's not sunny, because then your snowball will melt. Like, these are all the things that happen, right? By the way, I live my life in metaphors, so I'm holding back for you right now.
This is also a conversation about how to make a good snowball.
It's exactly. So if you don't know how to make a good snowball, come to the stream and I'll help you figure that out. We don't get as much really big snow in New York City, though. Syracuse, New York, though, one of the snowiest cities on the planet.
Yeah,
we get a lot of snow. So
that's where you went to school.
I learned my snow analogy.
See? We have Syracuse to thank for that.
That's it, absolutely. But yeah, there's just a general rule book that exists, and just go on YouTube on how to start, and it's all the same formula.
Yeah.
Are there more streamers now than ever? Absolutely. There are over 9 million active streamers daily on Twitch.
Is that right?
I think so. Whereas a couple of years ago, it was closer to between 5 and 7.
Wow.
Right? The pandemic really, really inflated. So we're seeing a peak right now. We're going to start to see a decline.
Yep.
And so, and the average viewers per streamer has gone down. It used to be on average like 20 or so, but now it's gone down. So, so you just got to hang in there, but you have to put in the work.
Yeah.
Advertise on every other platform outside of Twitch. Use those avenues to bring people in. That's going to help you get some of those additional eyeballs. Because I've found people on Instagram, and I found their Twitch on Instagram because that's where I spend my time, right?
Yeah.
So do that.
Basics.
Just do it. Just do it now.
Right. Clay, dude, thanks for taking the time, man. I appreciate you, man. More than I know how to express in a concise way. So just thank you. It's okay.
That's all right. You'll thank me later. Thank me later. No, this honestly, Ed, I really appreciate you giving me a platform in which to just share thoughts like this. I love having these kind of conversations. I'm glad that you think I'm interesting enough to be a part of this, which blows my mind. And it's all because we have been able to connect on so many levels. And every time you enter into chat, I light up. I love hopping into your stream when you have no idea what the games are doing, and it's like your thing. Every time, Ed, how's this game? You know, Clay, this is a really great game, but I have no idea what's happening. It was like that with Psychonauts. It was like that with Returnal.
Yeah.
It was like that with 12 Minutes.
Yeah. Wow.
So
I didn't realize I had such a hook.
It's great though. I love that about you, and your energy is infectious. So you got me for a while, buddy. I think that you are one of the like frameworks / paradigms, models of how this should be done. And I wish you nothing but the best. And honestly, like I said, I don't know if your plan is to make it big on this, but I'll send whatever support I can your way too.
I appreciate that, man. And back at you. It's you are a you're someone who just I look up to and highly esteem and strive to emulate what it is you bring ethically and just the way communicatively. I hope that's a word, and if not,
I think it is.
Okay,
it
good.
is.
I was 98% sure it was.
My wife's a writer. She writes. She's a writer for part time. So like, there are words that I'm like, she said that before, so that's legit. Take that one down.
But just thank you.
I hope
Clay.
that's legit. I'm totally messing up everybody.
But just thanks for who you are, man, and what you're doing. And I'm more than happy and excited to share the Twitch streams. HeyCallMeClay, and stop in, say hello, let him know that you heard his conversation or saw his conversation, and man, I appreciate it.
And feel free to just hop in and grab a seat. We're a fun, very lighthearted group, but we don't shy away from hard conversations either. If you're looking to learn about people and each other, you're more than welcome to just pop in and say hi.